Okay, so I did find the picture. Look, that's my sister. And that's a really long one. So, and that one's, I've told you, if you, I don't think I can make it larger. Around the neck is all turtleneck, and it's every color that's in the actual piece. I put all those colors together and just made a really thick turtleneck for it, and it's really cute, really warm. So you got to be really extravagant to wear something like that, because it's very colorful. Or you can just make it, tone it down. I'm just always, when I'm teaching, I'm using different colors. I'm using my scraps, so just to design. But first my mother was in love with it, then my sister was in love with it, so there you go. All right, this is the hexagon shape square that you're going to be making into a jacket or sweater, coat. So I'm going to start with the magic circle. So pretty much most of you watching this tutorial should know how to crochet. So I'm putting 3 chains in that circle. And let me try it one more time so you can go in slow motion. And what I did is just wrapped it around my 2 fingers and came to a crisscross in the back, put my hook under and pulled it up. Then I just take my fingers out. This is my running yarn. And I'm going to chain 3. And then what I'm going to do is work over this tail and work around in this circle. And so what my goal is to put, I'm using this first one as a double crochet. This chain 3 acts as a double crochet. I'm going into the circle and I'm going to put 2 more double crochets. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to go back into the circle and I'm going to do 3 more double crochets. Chain 2, and I'm going to do this until I have 6 clusters. At that point I'll call them clusters inside of the space. See what I'm doing? It's going around. Kind of looks like a little ring. Diamond ring right there. Going back in, and I'm using a small hook. I don't want my holes really big, so I think this one might be maybe a F or a G. So 1. I'm going to keep you on film with this. Sometimes I cut out and come back in, but I'm going to keep you in here. And see, I'm just still going over that tail. And I can probably pull it a little bit just to start closing it up just a little bit. And again, that's called a magic circle. Chain 2. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 4 is what you would normally have in this circle if you were doing just a regular granny square. But we're going to push the limit on this, and we're going to put 2 more clusters in there of 3. 2 more clusters of 3 double crochets with a chain 2 in between. 1, 2, and 3, and chain, and you end with a chain 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I got 7. Talking. Let me see. So I have 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3. I got way too many. I was going, wasn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let me take that one out. All right, so now what I want to do is just pull that tail. And when I pull that tail, look what happens. It closes up that circle. Now, for those of you who don't like the magic circle, you can also just do a chain 3, 4, or 5, depending on how big of a hook size that you're using, just so you can get 6 clusters in there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and what I'm not liking about this is this chain 3. Let me see if I can turn it this way. That chain 3 right there on that first one just makes that cluster a little bit small. So sometimes what you can do is don't use that one as a double crochet and put another one in there, so you'd have a chain 3 and then 3 double crochets, and then when you come back to connect, you'd be connecting to the chain 3, and it wouldn't take the integrity away of the cluster. But I'm gonna go ahead, since I'm just here now, and I'm slip stitching into the top corner of that chain 3. So those are my clusters. All right, so now what your goal is going to be, for those of you who know how to do a granny square, we're going to, I like to, with this particular pattern, I like to flip my work so that every other time it's back and forth. It gives it its own design. So I'm going to flip my work, and I'm going to chain up 3, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in each chain 2 space. Now in between, for double crochet, sometimes you do a chain 1, but because I'm not trying to make the holes too big, I'm not putting any spacing and chains in between. The only chains you'll find will be in my corners, but it's going to be up to you how you do it. I'm just giving you instructions on how to make this hexagon square, which is going to end up being, a jacket, sweater, coat when you get done. All right, I'm going to stop here, because what I've done so far is put 3, 2, 3. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in each chain 2 space around. So if you were reading a pattern, that's what it would say. It would say do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space around, because this is a pattern in the round. And when you come back around, you would just slip stitch into the top corner of the work. All right, so let's see. And then something else I do, if I'm not using the same color yarn, because I'm using scrap yarn to build this one, depending on how much yarn I'm working with, I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to stop and pick up and do another one, because you need 2 pieces, 2 exact pieces to make this sweater. I'm going to call it a sweater, because I don't think, if I were to make it a jacket or something, I would need to line it, and I'm not trying to line anything right now. You see, I'm sitting in my weekend pajamas. All right, so I'm back at my beginning. My beginning is always my end. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners, 6 clusters. Chain. Oh no, I don't chain in between my spaces. So I'm going to jump right over to that corner double crochet and slip stitch it off. All right, so this is what it looks like. All right, so now the magic starts happening. We start row 3. So that was not row, round 3. So remember, I told you I turn my work, I flip my work every time, so that I don't, like, sorry about those texting me. There's no definition of the right side and the wrong side with this pattern. If I just kept going in the round, then it would be a right side and a wrong side. That's going to be your preference. So, as I said, I'm going to flip my work. I'm going to chain up 3. And because I'm in a space, I'm going to put 2 more double crochets in here, and this is going to act as the double crochet. Now, if I had decided to keep going forward, I would be past that space. So I would have to slip stitch over to the corner and start in that corner. All right, but like I said, I flipped my work. So I'm telling you both, so both ways. So in here, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. 2 double crochets. All right, and then I'm going to skip over to this corner because I have 6 corners now versus having 4 corners if I were doing a double crochet. If I was doing a granny square. I got to listen to myself what I'm saying. All right, and then I'm going to try to position the camera in a different way when I do the second one, okay? So you can watch over my shoulders. So now, in between this corner and the next corner is a space. And in that space, after coming out of this corner, I'm going to go into the space or into the top of the stitch. There's two things you can do. You can go into the whole space or you can go into the stitch. I like to go into the stitch. And I'm going to do 3 double crochets. And then I'm going to jump right over to this next corner. Okay, and in that corner, I'm going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So the next one, there's going to be a space. So in the space, or in the stitch, and I do the stitch, I'm putting 3 double crochets. So every row you're going to be adding another space, and this is what makes it grow. And what you'll do from that point on is just, if you're designing it for yourself or someone, you just need to get their measurements so that you have an idea of how long you're going to want the sleeve. Or you could even make this one can be made into a little baby one. I've made a little baby sweater out of this, and then I made a cap and booties to go with it, and a blanket. But this was it worked up really, really fast. I think I did 2 different colors as I went. All right, let me show you where I'm at. So, corner, corner, chain 3 double crochets in the middle. Corner, corner, 3 double crochets in the middle. Corner, corner, 3 double crochets. All right, I'm rounding it around. And you just keep going until it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm going to work on this one a little bit more. I'm going to end up on this is round 3. And I'll probably take it out based on how much yarn I have. I'm using my scrap yarn. I will come back starting the next one with the camera positioned differently, so that for those of you who need to see straight on what I'm doing, that will help you. All right, and this will be a pattern that you love, 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 love. And it's oops, I'm in the corner, okay. You should be able to look at your work and tell where you're at. And this video is not for teaching you how to crochet, it's just teaching you design and a pattern. So I'm in the corner of the very first 3 double crochets. And so what I do is just slip stitch into the corner, top corner of that stitch. right there, and make sure I grab 2 strands of so I don't pull a hole. I slip stitch, chain up 3, turn my work, and I'm in a space. If you're not turning your work, you can't chain up 3 because you're in front of the space. So at that point, you're going to need to slip stitch across the top 3, and then when you get into the next space or stitch, that's where you'll chain up. You'll go in there and you'll chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and go back in there and put the 3 double crochets, 2 double crochets. All right, so that's the difference. 3, that's the back side. Show you the front side. Let's see. And that slip stitch across is actually called a hidden stitch also. I just prefer to go back and forth. And it will give it a different look. If you could just continue in the round without flipping, it will give it a different look. Texture-wise, it'll give it a different look. Okay, so I don't like to do that. I have to take it out. Go back to the beginning. Oops, I lost the whole stitch. Slip it together. Chain 3. And turn my work. And then I go back in the space. Put 2 more doubles. And jump over to the corner. And you'll see your corners. The definition will be there. 1, 2, 3. And in the corners you put 3, 2, 3. And in the middles you put 3. 3, 2, 3 is 3 double crochets. Chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay? Alright, and that's what you do. So the next row, we're in round. I keep calling it row, but we're in rounds. Oh, what I forgot to tell you, in the middle, see here where this drawstring is? Normally, you pull it tight. When I pull it tight, that closes up that center hole. And then I crochet it right in with my work. I didn't do it this time just to keep it tight because it'll open back up if you don't. But that's the magic circle. Alright, so I'm going to do probably about 10 rows total of this color to start with. And then I'll start the next one. And when I start the next one, I'll be back. Because I'm doing 2 halves, so I do them both at the same time. If you're only doing one color, you can just do one all the way, and then when you're done, then do the next one. But because I'm adding different colors in on this one, I do them side by side. Okay, I'm back. I finished it, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I did 5 rounds. And I stopped. And that's what it looks like. So I'm trying to give this to you from a different point of view. The last point of view would be good for people who are left-handed and need to be mirrored what I'm doing. And so that would be a way for them to mirror it. Now, sorry about that. I was going to try to put it over my shoulders and do it, but that didn't materialize on my couch. So I'm hoping this background here is not getting in your way. Maybe the color. Alright. So we'll start with the circle. The magic circle. Chain 3. And then place 2 double crochets in here. But this time I'm going to place 3 double crochets just so that you can see how I'm going to use that chain 3 for this one. Because remember I told you I didn't like the first one. Alright, then I'm going to chain 2, go back in that space or that circle, and I'm going over my running tail. And for those of you who don't like the magic circle, you can use a chain 3, 4, or 5. Whatever it takes for you to get 6 clusters inside of that circle without overlapping, being on top of each other is what that means. I think I have to throw my ball down on the floor. Now somewhere in this ball, I just added this. These were scrap materials I was telling you guys about. So there'll come a part where I'm going to run out of thread, and I did that on purpose to show you in this video how to add in another color or the same color using the magic knot, or what is referred to as a manufactured knot, which will never come out in your work. And I love, love, love doing that knot. So hopefully it'll come out, or I can show you, or I could just cut and show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more cluster in here. And I'm not really giving the same instructions as I gave on the other one because we're doing the same thing. Only I'm showing you from a different viewpoint. So those of you who need to see it straight on, as though you're working it with me. And those of you who are left hand can use the first one. Alright, so I have 6, and I'm pulling the magic circle. And on this one, I'll show you how I get rid of the actual tail. I have to pull it tight. Alright, I'm going to put a slip knot in the, okay, here's the chain 3, and then here's the 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Probably shouldn't be doing this with dark yarn, but 1, 2, 3, and then here's the chain 3. So I'm going to be slip knotting, putting a slip stitch, in that chain 3. Okay, I like that better. And that's a chain 2. Alright. Now, I'm going to chain up 3. So I'm going to take that tail here. Hope I'm not out of focus. And I'm going to just lay it up in here and start getting rid of it in my chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And remember what I said. I like to flip my work, go the opposite direction. And I might not have did that on the first one. And then I'm going to get rid of the tail inside of this corner. So there's 3. We'll chain 2. And I'm going right back into that space with 3 more double crochets. So you get to hear all the dings and everything because I'm using my phone. Ah, look. I came to the end. Wow. Great place to show you how to do the magic circle. Let's move over here. Alright. See crumbs and everything on my hassock. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna lay my work down just so you can see what I'm doing, because this might happen to you. Alright, so I take the new, whether it's the same color or a different color, opposite direction, and I take a back that one out a little bit more so I can have more. And I'm going to go up underneath this one. See that? And then I'm going to come over top. And then I'm going to tuck that tail in there like a knot. And I'm going to pull it. So get it all in there. Pull the knot. Make it a knot. And then the other one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go take it up underneath there. Go over top. Got to go over top. And then tuck it under. It's going to take a little get used to, not much, and pull a knot. Okay, so now you have 2 knots. And then you just take the ends of each and you pull, 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 and they kiss together. And then once they kiss together, very carefully cut very close to the knot. Cut that tail off. Get the other one. Cut that tail off. And then you have what's called a knot that will never come loose. And I just kind of roll it in between my fingers. And I keep right on crocheting. And it's pretty much not detectable in your work. Okay, so I was at chain 2. Go back into the circle space. Getting rid of that tail. With 3 double crochets. Here comes that knot. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. Let me get back straight. It's out of frame. Got her on a tripod right now. Sorry. So still getting rid of that tail. I got a lot going on in this little space, don't I? Do it again. And it just went up in there, that knot. That was 2. And this is 3. Alright, it's gone. The knot's in there somewhere. And then I'm just going to continue on with my work. Jump over to the next corner. And put 3, 2, 3. Which means 3 double crochets. Chain 2. And 3 double crochets. Put my ball down on the floor. Jump over to the next corner. And you're going to do this total of 6 times for round 2. Remember, in between this and this, I don't put any chains like you would do on a granny square because I don't want the holes that big since I'm going to be wearing it as a sweater. Actually, in the corners, instead of doing chain 2, I could have done chain 1. But I don't want to confuse you guys too much. And these are things that you'll pick up on and figure out as you begin to design. So all my work that I'm showing is elements of design. In this video, at the end, one of my greatest creations that I did recently was a gown, an evening gown I wore to a New Year's Eve gala. And I think I'm going to slip this in here at the end of this tutorial. Even though it has nothing to do with the jacket, but it just has something to do with my work, and maybe that'll inspire you guys to design too. Alright, so I came to the corner, end. Your beginning is your end. Your end is your beginning. So because we're going in the round, I'm going to chain up 3, turn my work, and the space is right there waiting on me. Can you see it? So I'm going in there with 2 more double crochets. With 2 double crochets, with the chain 3 makes the 3rd one. And continue on. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. And remember, I told you I'm going into the actual stitch. I'm not going into the actual space. However, you can go into the space. When you go into the space, it just gives it more definition. See there? Gives it more definition there than going into the actual stitch. Now, if you had a chain 1 in between here, that would have been a chain you'd be going into. I think it makes my work a little flatter. Flat, F-L-A-T. T-E-R, flatter. See there? All right, jump over to the corner. Okay, I'm giving you a lot of information in this video, but I love to do that. Just because. We're designing, you're learning and designing at the same time. Jump over to the next space there. Yes, I'm crocheting fast, but I'm not teaching how to crochet. I have to get that disclaimer in there because some people get mad at me. If you need a step-by-step tutorial, there are thousands of them out here, but I can make one specifically for those beginners who want me to. I do that when I teach my classes, one-on-one, and working with people who are left-handed too is another gift I have, even though I'm right-handed. All right, it's coming around. And then once I get done with this row, I'm going to go ahead and finish this one out and match it to the other one. And then when I get ready to change colors, I'll come back in and change colors with you. We don't want to make the video too long. We just want to make it long enough so you can grasp the concept and share it with your groups and your families, and drop me some pictures somewhere in here. I think I'll probably start putting my email address in my description so that you guys can email me some of your pictures, or you can go to my Facebook page, or you can go to my website, because all of these tutorials right here are just on my YouTube channel. All right, I'm at the end. I always make sure I pick up 1 or 2 stitches at least so I don't pull a hole. Slip stitch it, chain up 3, turn my work, and go into the space. And like I showed you on the other side, for those of you who don't want to turn your work, at this point you are going to have to slip stitch across those top stitches to get into a space, and then chain up 3. Go back in the space with 2 double crochets and carry on. Okay? I don't like to do that. I'm not doing that because I'm flipping my work. So, sorry for all those dings in here. 3, turn my work. Oh, that one looks kind of... Oh, I know something didn't look right. I didn't go all the way back enough. I'm supposed to, when I close this off, I'm supposed to be right in that space when I turn my work, to be able to go right in that space. But that didn't look right. Chain 3, turn my work, and there's the space ready for me to go into for my next row. And because I don't like to go in the whole space, I have to do it on this one. Then jump right over to the corner and put my 6 in there. 3, 2, 3. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, I'll come back when I'm done and getting ready to add in the new color. If you're enjoying this, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. And leave a comment. Always. Always, always, always. I will respond. All right, let me quit talking. All right, so it's coming together. And see, it's going to look more wavy, but that's the whole pattern. And as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and when we fold it into itself, you'll see how it makes the magic. All right, here we go. I have added the new color. And if you'll look, you'll see 6 points, 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, and 6 points. All right, and it's going to look a little wavy compared to a square, but this is your hexagon shape. All right, and so just wanted to get you started with the second one. Remember, I told you I do mine 2 at a time. I do one and then I complete the other one. All right, so this is where I finished. And I don't have to start where I finished. I actually go to a corner. And because this is the right side and I'm flipping my work, this particular one's on the right side, I'm going to start on the back side. And I'm going to start in the corner. And I'm going to put about 3 inches there. I'm going to pull it through. And then what I normally do is I just feed my tail in. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, flip, 2. Well, I'm not going to count the first one that I put in there. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Then I'm going to put 2 more doubles in there. Getting rid of my tail at the same time. So the first chain 3 makes a double crochet. So there's 3. Then I'm going to chain 2, still getting rid of my little tail. 1, 2. Go back in that corner because I'm working in a corner with 3 double crochets. Then I jump over to the next space and put 3 double crochets. Now, because I'm coming up on that tail, that was from where I ended at. There's a couple things I can do. I can lay it over top and work over it, but because I'm not going in every stitch, that's not a good thing. So what I'm going to do is just filter that tail in by slip stitching over each stitch until I get rid of it, so that I know it's not gonna, and if it sticks out, any of it sticks out, I could just cut it. Yep, there's one. Filter it in. I like my work to look very clean when I crochet. Get through. Alright, so I'll come back to my pink. Jump over to the next one. Now, remember, I forgot, I'm not going in the whole space with mine, so I'm actually going in the stitch. You can go in the whole space. I want to keep mine uniform, so I'm going into the stitch, not into the space. Jump over to the next one, go into the stitch, or you can go into the space. Giving you alternatives here. Jump over to the next one. Because there's really no stitch in there, I'm going to go in the space because that's where I started and ended the last rows at. And then you're just going to do this all the way around and slip stitch in the first chain 3 space, top of the chain 3 space, and chain 3 and turn my work. Remember, you can go forward if you like, or just continue in the round if you like. I just like to alternate. Alright, so by now I think you have it. And then what I'm going to need you to do is to keep making, I'm going to keep making this as big as I want it for, I'm not sure how many rows. This is, when I finish with this pink, this will be 10 rows. And then I'll go get another color because mine's going to be multicolored. I'm just going, actually, I have a bag of yarn that I was gifted. My lady friend Sanetta in Indiana, and she's a crafter herself and a crocheter and makes t-shirts, sells t-shirts and dresses and stuff. And so she's always gifting my ministry yarn. And then I take that yarn and I teach with it. I use just scraps and make stuff, gift it out. Make blankets, gift them out. So that's what our ministry is about. Alright, so you guys get the idea. That's how I just want to show you another way to add on color. Add in another color. And to keep your work very clean looking. And then when I come back, I'll be coming back when I'm ready to put it together. But I'm going to show you something. Still got a ways to go. Of course, the bigger it gets, the longer it takes you to go all the way around. Because what happens is every section you're adding one new stitch. So 6 times 4 is 24. So that means every row you are adding 24 stitches. Every row you're adding 24 stitches. And so as it gets larger and larger, I think it's going to take about 50 rows, if I'm remembering correctly, the last one I made. Somewhere around 45, 50 rows, but I'm not sure. It might be more because I'm using a smaller hook size. So it really depends on the hook size that you use. I think I'm in about an F. Because I've used it so much it's worn off. Made in Japan. Yep, it's wore off. So I can't see it. I'm going to finish this row and then I'm going to show you how it could look as a baby sweater. I don't know why I feel like I gotta go to the end, because you guys are by now pretty familiar with what I'm doing. All right. Chain 3, turn my work in the space, 2 more, and keep it going. Okay. So, this is how you fold it. Those 2 together. Watch the magic happen. So this is a little one. This is half of a jacket for very small. I would like to see at least a few more rows. Let's see what this one looks like. So you take 2 and you put them together. Next 2. Put them together. And that's not looking right. Let's see, it's got to be a certain. It's got to go this way. But it's starting to. I was getting confused there for a minute. I gotta get rid of that tail. So this is the arm. That size. There's a baby one. So what happens as it gets bigger, the arm gets wider. Alright. So what I did was bring these 2 together. So you bring those 2 together, that doesn't make anything. So you'd be super confused. So you really have to just bring 2 together, like this is the arm, this is going into the neck part, and lay it down like that. Yeah, so we'll come back as it gets larger. Alright, so meet me back after you get it as big as you want it, because actually this arm is only going to go out so far and it would stop like about right here. I don't think you can ever get it to come here. You might have to add on to your sleeves just as well as you have to add on to your bottom once we seam it together. I'll see if I can find my picture of the one I made and drop it in here. I'll see if I can do that. Alright, so I'll be back. Okay, here I am a day or so later, still working on the project. So that's what it looks like. Like if you were trying to make a little girl's or little boy's sweater, you could kind of use about that size. That's 10 rows. Each one of my colors, I'm doing 5 rows. So there's 5 rows, 5 rows, 10 rows. This one is 15 rows, and I added on the brown. So every time you add on another color, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm going to go probably one more color. And just go look at my scrap bag, get me another color, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so now I added 2 more colors. Another color, that's 2 more rows. So as it gets bigger, my yarn, I'm using a lot of scrap yarn. And literally, I barely made it to get these 2 on here. I was scuffling all the way to the end. Look at there. Show you how much yellow I had left. That's all I had left to get 2 rows on each one of these tops, sweaters. So at this point, I'm going to start with gray, and this might get me 2 rows. I don't think it'll get me 3 rows because this piece is getting bigger and bigger. So here we are. I'm sitting up in my bedroom, my boudoir, my recliner today, just chilling. So I said I'd work on this video again. So this is what it's looking like. It's coming together. Alright, so next time I come back, I'll be ready to show you how to just seam it. And you can go from there and add on to it, or make it long, or make a coat, whatever you want. But that would be, I'd seam that part together, because I want to get this video done. Seam it. I think I'm going to make mine into a coat, a sweater coat. I'm going to get one of my seamstress to line it for me. Line it. Alright, because I don't feel like doing it. I could do it, but I don't want to do it. Alright, so that gets... Okay, this is 18 rows. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. This is 18 rows. Okay, I'm going to stop at 18 rows so I can go ahead and get this tutorial finished and get it out so you guys can start doing it. And if you have any questions, you can leave comments or you can contact me. But this is what it looks like. This is 6 points. This is hexagon shape, square. And what you do, this is 18 rows. You might want to do 30, 40, 50 rows. How big you want it. I'm just going to stop it here so that I can go ahead and finish showing you how to do it. So then you lay it down, and then you fold the corner in. I'm going to have to get my tripod up. All right, the sunlight's coming in my window. So this will be 1/2. That's half of the jacket. This could be a jacket or a coat or whatever. That's 1/2 of it, okay? Can you see it coming together? All right. Now I'll be back and I'll put the other one here and then I'll show you how to seam it. Okay, so what I'm doing with this, I'm putting right sides together. Meaning when I folded this together, this is the right side and this is the right side. So I put 2 right sides together. All right. So that's the piece. Let me let you look at it like this. Hi, I'm wild looking today. Look at it like that. Okay. All right, and so what we're going to be doing is we're going to seam from here all the way up. Then we're going to stop. Then we're going to come back. We're going to decide how big of an opening I want. So let's say I'm going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 unworked clusters up here. So that means I would come from the edge and seam across to here and stop. And then on this side, I come over and seam, start here and seam over to the designated amount. And then you have the piece together. And then once it's together, you can decide if you want to make it longer by starting here, crocheting and going around, and then turn around and go back. And so you have to decide when you start the crocheting that you're either on the right side or the wrong side, because this pattern is back and forth. Meaning my pattern is back and forth. It's not consistently going the same. One side is a wrong side, another side is a right side. Every row was different. So it kind of gives it just a little different texture. Okay, so once we seam it together, then you can add on to the sleeves too and make it longer. or you can keep them, you can make them however you want at this point. But this point right here, it has to be the width of the person that you're working with on, so, or yourself. So what I'm saying by that is you need to go around your body, measure your body, and then, or the person's body who you're making it for, so that you make sure that that the pieces are either half the amount of your body or the full amount of your body when they're put together. Like, what's the measurement for this around my body? I don't have do I have a thing in here? I might have one. Let me see. I'm looking for a measuring tape. I do. I have one right here. Let me measure. Let me change this, see if I put it right here. Okay, so I'm going to measure it. So this one is 0 to 15 and a half. So that would be 32, 33. So am I 33 around? No, I'm not 33 around. So this is not going to fit me. I am, let's see, what am I around? I'm 44 around. So when I made this, I would have had to make this piece, if this was going to be for me, 22 across. Because 22 and 22 is 44. So see, I would have had to make the width of this 22. And this width right now is only 18. So I would have had to do how many more rows? 18, 19, 21, 22, 4 more inches. So 4 more inches for me on this pattern here, sorry about the lighting, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more rows. So this particular pattern for me would have had to have 8 more rows if it was going to be for my body type. But what I'm going to end up doing is giving it to my granddaughter or something like that. She's a really colorful little girl. That's who I'll make it for. I might even have it lined, I'm not sure. All right, so those are just some elements that you, in making this, that you'll understand, will help you understand. Okay? And so I'm kind of guessing right here around the neck, but I guess if I wanted to know, if I really wanted to know, this is what I would do. I would measure across here. You can't see me, but I would measure across from here to here, the width, and then I'd see where I want to stop it. So like right here, I like this in this collar area, so I would measure that. And that's for me is about 12 and a half. So if that's 12 and a half, let's go back over here to the work. 12 and a half, I want 12 and a half inches width up there for my opening. So for me, 12 and a half is 6, so half of 6, 6 and a quarter, so I would go right to here. So for me, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be 8 unworked for my neck on each side. But since this isn't for me, it's for my granddaughter, I'm gonna not make it so, the opening so wide. So for her, I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, probably half of them. I'm gonna do 5. Let's stop it right there at 5. And then I'm gonna seam those clothes. So I'll come back as soon as I get ready to seam them close and show you that. And then we'll be done. Okay, so what I've done is picked up my piece, and I'm going to take one corner to corner, one section, which is the back, and I'm going to put right sides together. I'm going to go into the corner spaces, the chain 2 space, and I'm going to pull up a loop, leaving about 3-inch tail. And I'm going to work that tail right over my work. So I'm going to start out by chaining 2. And what I'm going to use this one, you could go into the top, each top stitch. Maybe I'll show you all of them. Okay, and then I'll take it loose. So first I'm going to show you, I'm getting ready to the tail. I'm going across the top of each one of the stitches, all 4 loops. with a single crochet. Because when I design and teach, I like to give you all different types of elements that are going to, and techniques that are going to help you in the long run with anything in the future that you decide to work on. So I'm going to do about 10 of these stitches. So you can see, do one more. And I'm using a single crochet. Then this is the one I'm going to end up using that I really like. I'm going to go in what's considered the back loop. But because I'm using it this way, this is going to be my front loop here and my back loop over there. Okay, that's what I'm going to call it. So I'm going to call it this front loop and the back loop on the other piece. Again, front, back. Try it again. Just the front loop and the back loop. It gives a really pretty design. And I like this one for tailoring my stuff and putting it together. I think it gives a better look. I just wanted to show you different ones, different looks that you can do. All right, let me turn on the other side. So now it's going to be for you to decide which one you like. This is the one I like, because once it's together, it's just another texture, I think. It's just another texture right here. But if you don't want texture and you just want to close it totally, you can close it totally and it would look like that. All right. So I'm going to take it loose. Then I'm going to do it the way I like. Not two wrong sides, I got to put two right sides together. You just pick up a square, one point to point. And again, I'll show you how I start, and then you should be good to go. I'll come back once this is done, and I'll go up to the top and do the same thing with the seams up top. Two seams, I'm a little bit too close. I always chain two. Now there's different ways you can do this. You can come in with a loop, if you like. You can also do this with a darning needle. This happens to be a corner where I started. Now I could do probably a slip stitch doing this, but I like to do single crochets. And I have enough yarn to do it, so there's no reason why not. So again, I'm doing front loop on this side and the back loop on the other piece. Some of you may have never done this before, but it's a wonderful technique. And I'll come back when I'm finished with this. Finish this seam and then I'll go across the top. Okay? I'll be back. But I really, really love this one. Let me show you again. This right here is where I was weaving in and out my thread. I'll show it to you when I'm finished. Okay, so I'm at the end. I tied it off. And now I will just filter it back and forth to get rid of the tail. Sometimes if I have my little glue, fabric glue, I might hit it with the glue, so it'll stay hidden longer during washing and stuff like that, and stretching and wear. And when I get to the end, I just turn around and go back the other direction to kind of lock it in a little bit. And then, like I said, if I had some glue in here, I just hit a little piece with some glue. But I don't think I have, pretty sure I don't have glue on me today. Nope. Alright, so that's the back. Alright, so that's what it looks like once it's finished. So what you think? I love it. Okay. So that's the back. That's the back. The front two pieces together. That's what it looks like once it's turned over. We'll put it like that. All right. So now the next thing we do is fold it in. Oh, I have to bring it up like this. I will bring the bottom piece up here. That. Alright, so see it? So now it's closed. Several things you can do. You could put buttons on here and make some little hoops. You can go a lot of different places with this. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this in. So because I want right sides together, I have to turn it inside out. So how I did that. And I'll go across here and I'll stop. Okay. And I think I said for this one I was only going to do leave 4 unworked. So, sorry. I'll start on this end and I'll go in the corner, two chain corners, both of them. Now across the top, if you think you don't want it tailored like we did down the back, I will go into both top stitches and show you how that looks. If you feel like it's going to need more sturdier strength across the top, I'll do it that way. So, but normally if I want my whole piece to match, I'm going to do front and back loop just like I did down my back, so that it'll all be the same. But then for teaching purposes, I'm just going to go across the top and close it up so you can see how that looks also. And so I think I said I'm going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unworked. So I'll be right back. So now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unworked in the front and the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unworked in the front. And so whether I'm doing the back loop or the front loop or both, I'll put a double in here because it's a corner. And then I'll cut out about 3 inches. Pull it through. Tighten it. And then same as the other one. I'll go back and forth across the top to weave it in and then hit it with some glue and be done. I'll do the other side, then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Oh, I want to show you what this one looks like closed in, because I don't know if I'm still going to tailor that this other side. Then I go back the opposite direction after I get so far. Alright, so let me turn this inside out. You can see what across the shoulder looks like. So you may like that across the shoulder, which is nice. I'll probably leave it. And then my back is the other way. Okay, so let me go over here and do the other side. Then I'll come back. Alright, I just finished all across the top of my seams. Done. Opening of the neck. Alright, so there's your jacket. Nice little jacket. And you can do some other things if you want. Like I said, you can add on to here and still do the granny stitch, you know, granny square stitch all the way around it. Keep going, turn it, alternate. Me, I would have to alternate back and forth. Add on another color and make it as long as you want it. And on this side, same thing. And then the bottom, if you want it longer, you just start here in the corner and go around and back. And then go turn around and go back the other way. And that's how you elongate it. And then if you want to, however you want to close it up, buttons, or that would be up to you. And then the neckline. Now, there's several things you can do with the neckline. I'm going to probably, I've done, the last one I did, I actually did a permanent turtleneck. I just did a turtleneck, so you had to put it on over top of your head and then put your arms in it and then leave it open. If I can find the picture to that, I will add it at the end of this video. I gave it to my sister. Or you can just start from here and go around back and forth and make a hood. So there's several patterns out there for making hoods. There's a lot of things you can do with it. So, but that's the basic, and I just wanted to teach you how to take that square and make it into a jacket. And this could be a jacket dress. Oh, there's so many things that you could do with it. But as always, you know, I really, really, really thank you for following my channel. And look around if this is your first time being here. There's many things on here about cooking. Just informational channel is what I try to make it be. So, but for all my crocheters, what really got me started on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thumbs up, comments, subscribe, all those good things, and share. And always be blessed, because you are blessed, blessed, blessed by the best.
Looking beautiful.
I'm trying.
Oh, you are.
I'll see you in there. I forgot to show you what I look like. We got to with the wow. Not yet. Can you just take this picture of me right quick?
No.
It's not a picture, it's a video.
No, I know.
Actually.
Okay, so what am I doing?
It's already on. I just wanted to just see the whole thing. It's already on.
So, okay, I just hold it for you? You going way back there?
I just wanted to see the whole dress.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Okay.
Okay. You got it?
Thank you.